March 15th, 2026, episode 628. This is episode 628. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. Shall we? Florida Airbnb guest accused of peeing on furniture, causing $5,355 in damage.
A 31-year-old Pensacola woman is charged with 2 counts of felony criminal mischief. According to an arrest report, she damaged furniture in 2 Airbnb homes in downtown Pensacola. According to arrest records, Nicolette Keogh rented 2 downtown Pensacola Airbnb homes and ruined $3,000 worth of furniture inside.
There was a young lady inside making money in a very unusual way that damaged somebody else's property.
Shockingly, she looks a little bit like Anne Hathaway. She looks like the American sweetheart, you know, the girl next door, that no way you'd ever associate her with someone that would piss all over your crib. No, not in a million years. Meanwhile, the only luggage she's coming in with is a tripod and a 5-gallon jug of water. Looks can be deceiving, kids. She peed on the walls like a man. Like a drunk man that couldn't hold it in. A Pensacola woman, apparently a very well-hydrated Pensacola woman. You've seen her skin, not a blemish in sight. I guess that's one of the perks of her job. She has to keep moist. Has been arrested for allegedly peeing on and damaging furniture items in 2 local Airbnbs. According to arrest documents from the Pensacola Police Department, an Airbnb owner filed a criminal mischief complaint on March 15th regarding damage made to her rental property.
An arrest report says Keogh urinated on various pieces of furniture around the homes.
There's a list of items including a television, a record player, a coffee pot, some bedding, some carpeting, I believe, or a rug.
And more.
Yeah, we've seen damage to Airbnbs and hotel rooms before, but nothing like this.
According to court records, Keogh filmed herself urinating on the items and uploaded the videos to an adult content website.
Even Dexter, the serial killer, the prolific serial killer, found the time to put plastic around his workspace for easy cleanup before he dismembered his victims. And you mean to tell me that she couldn't have at least put down some wee-wee pads, some napkins, a few wet floor signs around the crib, something? Oh, I'm kink shaming today because urination fetishes are indeed gross. And if you don't think so, you're part of the problem. Either you like peeing on people or you like when people pee on you or some mixture of the two. And people pissing on video has had a very bad track record in this country. Oh, how quickly we forget. The owner told officers that someone sent her a message on the Airbnb app claiming her then current guest, identified as 31-year-old Nicolette Keogh, had peed on multiple items in the unit on North Gilmart Street. I'm sorry, am I hearing you correctly? You said she peed on all my furniture? She told me she was hosting a crocheting workshop. Later, the owner allegedly found a video on an adult content website that showed a woman peeing in the unit and causing damage. The owner documented the damage with photos and reported a strong odor of urine like asparagus and black coffee in the residence, according to Pensacola police. The question for me is, how did the owner know where to find her adult content? I mean, it doesn't take a detective to know when someone pissed all over your crib, but how did she know where to find her in the act? It's much needed evidence, no doubt, but would you want to see see a video of her urinating all over your stuff, wouldn't just knowing that she did be enough for her to catch dim hands? Just things you think about. Her kidneys have to be squeaky clean, one of the only silver linings that come with pissing on people's furniture for a living.
Airbnb's terms of service explicitly state that homes are not to be used for sex work or commercial purposes. Additionally, Airbnb provides up to $3 million in host protection for property damage, extra cleaning costs, and more. Regardless, insurance experts say people who own short-term vacation rentals should still seek out extra coverage in case of emergency.
She reportedly found that an antique Crown Royal chair, rug, typewriter in 2026, 4 dining room chairs, a coffee maker, bed, TV, record player. I bet you the bed was the first thing to get soaked. A record player, a toaster, an electric fireplace needed to be replaced, amounting to $3,980 in damage. And I was thinking to myself, why don't you just go to a Best Western or a Motel 6 and pee all over the place? Lord knows, peeing all over the place is like a regular Tuesday for a Motel 6. Then you got to think about it. It wouldn't be interesting to her fans, that deranged audience that she has, unless she's pissing on some fine china. The responding officer then arrested Kiao and charged her with damage to property, criminal mischief. The owner found that a vase green rug accent wall, she pissed on an accent wall like she has a real penis. Who is this woman? And a tiger rug were also peed on, causing another $1,375 in damage, according to the police report. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. She's a serial urinator. She probably spelled her name on the living room floor in the carpet. But you know what's more disturbing? She has an audience. She wouldn't do it if she didn't. A paying audience. And some of them are your husbands and boyfriends, ladies. 4 to 9% of men are at least interested or curious. They want to know what being pissed on consists of. So tonight, ask your man if he's into water sports, and good luck. Kristen Sinema admits she had sex with her married bodyguard in new bombshell court papers. It's a love story, kids.
Kirsten Sinema is being sued as a homewrecker for allegedly ruining a 14-year marriage. The lawsuit was filed in North Carolina by a woman named Heather Amell. She's the now ex-wife of a former Sinema bodyguard and Senate staffer. North Carolina is one of the few states that has a so-called homewrecker law, and that allows people to sue a spouse's lover who may have played a role in a breakup of a marriage. Amell claims Sinema had an affair with her husband during trips across the country and around the world, and that Sinema used campaign funds to pay for all of it.
Now, the alienation of affection law is recognized in a handful of states. You got North Carolina, Mississippi, South Dakota, New Mexico, Utah, and Hawaii. But she banged him in D.C., disgusting. New York City, sickening. Phoenix, hot and putrid. Miami, gross. And Boston, I wouldn't even want to touch you no more. Now, you might say when you're married wherever you go, and you'd be right. But at least she was considerate enough to not sleep with him while he was in their home state. It's good to know she respects boundaries. Former Senator Kristen Sinema admitted to having a jet-setting affair with her married bodyguard, you home-wrecking hussy, in which she slept with him at least 6 times in 5 cities before he separated from his wife, according to bombshell new court papers. Now, not for nothing, she does have sort of a Law and Order type of je ne sais quoi about her. The 49-year-old independent poll who represented Arizona in the U.S. Senate admitted in a motion filed Thursday that she first got hot and heavy with Matthew Amell, a married father of 3, in May 2024. Hey, well, you're up on Capitol Hill making all these laws. It's tense work. You just need somebody to unwind you from time to time, I suppose. During the steamy affair, she was physically intimate with Amell 6 times over 5 months before he separated from his then wife. That thing made him call his wife up and say, listen, I'm not coming back home. You and the kids take care of yourselves. According to Sinema, who hopes will quash a North Carolina homewrecker lawsuit filed by her lover's ex-wife, Heather Amell.
The senator also accused of ethics violations for those same trips while she was still in office. Amell is seeking more than $25,000 in damages. Her ex-husband, Matthew Amell, was hired as a security guard for Sinema in 2022. He later joined her Senate staff. Court papers claim Sinema sent encrypted messages to Amell on the app Signal that were of a romantic nature and told him to bring the drug MDMA, or Molly, on a work trip so she could, quote, guide him through a psychedelic experience because he was suffering from PTSD. He's a former service member.
Now, me personally, I think they slept together way more times than just 6 times in 5 months. 6 times in 5 months is hardly considered hot and heavy. That's 1.2 times per month. Now, 60 times in 5 months is hot and heavy. 6 times is more like the sex is convenient. It's like coochie on the nightstand. You don't have to go that far to get it. But this was definitely giving passionate vibes. Look at it like this. 6 rainy days in 5 months wouldn't be enough to water the crops unless they came up with that soft number to imply that he only cheated a little bit and not a lot, which is a huge difference, by the way. Sinema admits her first romantic tryst with her bodyguard, that's a word you don't hear every day, tryst, was on May 27th, 2024 in Sonoma, California. She was popping Molly with her bodyguard under the guise of helping him with his PTSD, and then I would assume delivering to him earth-bending, mind-shattering sex to the point where he couldn't physically bear to be married anymore. She threw it up in the air and it turned into sunshine. She later hooked up with him in New York City in mid-July and in Washington, D.C. in late August and September, her court papers state. She also took the Army vet turned bodyguard to bed in Aspen in September and Phoenix in early October, according to the court docs. Sinema laid out geographic details of the affair in an attempt to show that none of the hookups happened in North Carolina, meaning she can't be dragged into court in the state. Now, I've read a few versions of this article. This one is New York Post, but this one really gives me the impression that she slept with them outside of state lines on purpose. Heather filed the lawsuit in the Tar Heel state, which is her family's home state, as it is one of a few with so-called homewrecker laws, alienation of affection, on the books that allows people to sue their ex-spouses' paramours. I'm glad this law isn't countrywide anymore. It used to be, because they would have to build a whole court specifically for this. There'll be lines around the corner. She is seeking over $25,000 in damages from the former senator who became the first openly bisexual person elected to Congress in 2012 and the first elected to the U.S. Senate in 2018. Your man was never safe.
Who even knew that these laws were on the books, that you could sue somebody basically for having an affair?
Yeah, not many. You know, these types of statutes were abolished in the majority of the states over the last 100 years. So it comes from English common law, where it used to be seen that a marriage was more than just a bond. It was prestige, it was your status in the community, and even property rights. So if a man came in and stole someone's wife 200 years ago, it could really affect their status in society. So it was seen as a tort claim and people that were liable for damages.
Listen, he's grown and he knew he was married. He was married 14 years. Let's keep it a buck here. She didn't break him. He folded. But you can't tell me she didn't give him a nudge, call him to her room in the wee hours, wearing Armani My Way, asking him to check for monsters under her bed or whatever damsel in distress card. All I'm saying is women know how to apply pressure, but they can be a little more subtle at times. You have to tell your men this, ladies, but you won't, because this is how most of you got him. In her motion to end the potentially costly lawsuit, Sinema states, defendant admits that she and plaintiff's husband, Matthew Amell, began a romantic relationship in May 2024, about 5 months prior to his separation from plaintiff. She texted him, "I keep waking up during my sleep and reaching over for your arms to hold me." Now you tell me that he didn't hit that more than 6 times in just those 5 months. Yet, as her declaration establishes, that relationship occurred exclusively outside of North Carolina, conveniently exclusively outside of North Carolina. Matthew Amel moved out of the home he shared with his wife and kids in November 2024. According to the court docs, it didn't take long for things to go off the rails. Messing with Kristen Cinema over here. Please make sure, ladies, check under your beds. Please make sure you have a hotel room arranged from Saturday to Friday. His wife texted him at the time, I highly suggest you use this week to find an apartment and therapist. You have repeatedly told me you want a divorce. I won't allow you to continue to hurt me or the kids. Heather sued Cinema. Damn! Heather sued Cinema in September, alleging she destroyed their 14-year-long marriage by sleeping with her husband as they traveled around the world. And you want me to believe that they were only intimate for 5 months? Get out of here. So did anyone ever stop to think about what Matthew wanted? I mean, the whole alienation of affection law is based on the premise that your spouse is your property. So if you sleep with someone's spouse, you're basically damaging their marriage, you're damaging their property. It's like a property damage claim. Then we have Kristen on the other side. Kristen is a savage. You already know what she's about. This woman flew him around and smutted him out regularly. You don't think he was hurt about having to make that perfectly conscious decision of sleeping with a woman that's not his wife after she's flown him out to all these nice places that are not North Carolina? Prior to Cinema's actions, plaintiff and Mr. Amel were happily married and genuine love and affection existed between them. Of course they did, because what woman would want to steal a man that's not already loving and affectionate? He came completely assembled already, the wild lawsuit alleged. It's not that wild, New York Post. It's about par for the course. As a direct and proximate result of Cinema's intentional and unlawful actions, such marital love and affection was alienated and destroyed.
In North Carolina, this is not an uncommon lawsuit for wives and husbands who, maybe want to get a little bit of revenge on the person who they think is responsible for breaking up their marriage.
So she's suing beginning at $25,000. You say it could go up to $75,000. Is that a normal amount? I mean, what does that money even mean? The loss of a husband seems like it could be far more than that.
The damages could skyrocket depending on what the facts are. So Kristen Cinema and her legal team were able to take the claim from state court and transfer it to federal court because it involves at least $25,000. Now, the ex-wife is claiming that the damages that she's seeking are going to be at least $75,000. And I would expect to see more evidence of that going forward.
Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. Do you think she's an actual homewrecker, or do you think it didn't take much for him to fold? He just needed a little push in the right direction. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Twan Beatmaker. Get your music from Twan Beatmaker. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my socials. I'll leave the contact information up here at the top. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. Find me wherever you listen or watch your favorite podcasts. I am there. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. Even Dexter, the serial killer, the prolific serial killer, put plastic up around his workspace before he dismembered his victims to make for an easy cleanup. So you mean to tell me that she couldn't have at least laid down some wee-wee pads, some napkins, some wet floor signs, something? Oh, I'm kink shaming today because urination fetishes are indeed gross. And if you don't think...